K-Rino Radio. K-Rino Radio. Let's tell them about it. You're listening to K-Rino Radio on 90.1. Who is he? What is he? What does he do? Where is he from? H-Town, where the independent grind was invented. Understand, I'm the property owner, you just a tenant. KPFT is the station and location for the really special guests. Good knowledge and information for the coldest on the air. We making a strong case. If you scared of the truth, then you in the wrong place. Every Friday, 11 o'clock p.m. Central. We cooking the game, serving it up, feeding your mental. You can even call in, dial 713, backdoor with 526 KPFT. We ain't playing with them, we gon' tell it like it is, partner. Out of town, KPFT.org, yeah, we got ya. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now.
Texas and really in the world. You know, he is a OG to the highest degree. He's appeared on countless albums, and not only just appearing on albums, but has appeared on iconic classic records out of the city of Houston, man. Records like One Day You're Here, the Next Day You're Gone, All About My Dough. The list goes on and on and on, man, and I'm just honored to have our brother in the building, the one and only, the legend himself, Mr. Ronnie Spencer. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? What's happening?
Oh, man, we are blessed to have you here on K-Rino Radio tonight, man. I want to shout out to my brothers Berta One and my homie Keisto from No Regret Media. We're in the building, and we just thankful to have you here, man. And the whole hour is yours, and we want to make sure that that we talk to you guys and make it possible for the listeners to be familiarized with who you are, your origins as an artist, man. So just to get right to it, and if those of y'all who are listening, of course y'all are listening on kpft.org or 90.1 FM, but if you're listening and you want to call in and chop it up with the legend, you can call us in at 713-526-5738. That's 713-526-5738. You can talk to Ronnie Spencer live. Man, let me ask you a question, man. What was your first involvement in music? What got you started and interested in music, man, just back in the days from your beginnings, man?
Well, back in the day, my mother always had us in church.
Right.
So, it started by, gospel and, my family, background was pretty huge and, in the gospel field. My mother, back in the game, she used to sing in a band. And I guess that's where I got it from. But I always liked the sound and music.
Right.
So my brother now, Richard White Spencer is my oldest brother. He used to always play rock and roll and play drums and DJ. And I used to sit back and just look at him, but they never knew that I was taking everything in.
Right.
My sister, my, other brother, they would just, look at me and I used to just check them out. But I was studying them as, they was my teachers.
Right.
So they would always say, he can sing, boy. One day you're gonna be a singer. So my sister used to stir it in me all the time. Keep singing, don't you stop. Keep singing. One day you're gonna be something. I said, okay. So I took it in, and that's what happened.
Man, and that's amazing because how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, I got it's four of us. It's Richard, Rawton, and
where you fall in that as far as being?
I'm the baby boy.
Okay, so that explains a lot. So you being the baby boy, they was heavily pushing you and influencing you and encouraging you to be the singer because they saw something in you. You was like Lil Michael in the family, man. They saw something in you, like we gonna put you up in the forefront. But it's funny because I was just scrolling down Facebook, and we friends on one of my pages, and I saw you playing some drums the other day, and I promise, bro, I never knew that you played drums or played any instrument, do you play other instruments besides drums?
Yeah, I play keyboard, I play turntables, drums. I mess around with the bass a little and trying to work my way to lead guitar. But
so is this self-taught, or you took some lessons, or how'd you get into the instrumentation side of everything?
This is self-taught. I would just sit back and listen to, you know, rock and roll bands. That's where your good drummers at. I would sit back and listen to rock and roll drummers, and I was curious. I was like, you know what? You know, these rock and roll drummers, they don't play no games. They, you know, the R&B and hip hop is pretty much pocket and
pretty
funk.
Steady,
you know what I'm saying? It's pretty steady one dude, but once you go to listen to some rock and roll, man, it puts you on another level far as a guitar and far as drums.
Right.
You know, when you start dealing with hip hop and R&B, it's pretty much a lot of bass movement and, you know, pocket stuff, which give you that real funky George Clinton sound. So,
man.
You know, don't nobody do it better than George Clinton. So it's like when it comes to funk, but you know, that's why I did it. I just start listening to them. You know, listen to the instruments, and one day I just pick up some sticks. But my oldest brother played drums. He played drums, man. He was a beast. Yeah. So I used to sit back and watch him, you know. And my father played a B3 Hammond organ. I would go over there and sit back and watch them play and be like, man, you know. So one day, you know, my mama said, well, I'm going to take you over to your dad's. He wants you over there. So I went over there. He pulled out the organ. He get on the organ. They had me a drum set over there. I got on the drum set, and it was incredible for him to hear me play and keep time and rhythm with him. And he said, where you learn to do that? I said, listening to the music, listening to the albums.
Yeah. Now, the crazy part about it is that it's funny you mention that, because I want to ask you, how important do you think it is for young artists coming up to learn an instrument? Because I was watching a Prince interview one time, and Prince is like my favorite, you know, all time. And they was asking him about Beyonce back when she was just coming up, and he was giving her a lot of props on her talent, but he was saying he would like to see her learn an instrument, because as an artist, that just enhances you more when you can be able to sit down and not only just sing, but to jump behind a guitar, jumping behind a keyboard, and actually show off that side. That brings a whole nother element to the show.
Well, Prince is right. Rest in peace, Prince.
No doubt.
He right. Because when I start messing with the keyboard, I found myself staying in note.
Right.
You know, when you learn an instrument, it's another part of the game in music for you. Whether it's drums, whether it's a bass guitar, a lead, a flute, a sax, a keyboard, percussion. When you learn one of those instruments, what that instrument's going to do is it's going to teach you rhythm. It's going to keep you in note.
Right.
You know, it's going to keep you more focused on what you're doing. And I would tell any artist, any rapper out there today, if you learn an instrument, it just step your game up.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. We sitting here being educated by the one and only Ronnie Spencer, man. He is here. I see we got a call on early. I see him on the line, JD. We're going to take this call real quick and get right back into it with the OG. Let's rock it out. What's up, JD? Go ahead, JD. Go ahead, JD.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm sitting on it, man. I just want to say I enjoyed you, Ronnie Spencer. I'm still bumping that 4 feet too, you know.
Oh, it's all love.
Mr. Ayers this weekend, man. He surprised me. I'm like, hold up.
Man, I appreciate it. Much love to you.
I keep on talking, man, because I'm learning about you. I know you play no instruments either, man. So let me shut up and sit back and listen, man.
Thank you so much for calling in, JD. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Anybody want to call in and holler at the legend? The number is 713-526-5738. Let me move forward into it. Now, how did you get involved as far as with hip hop? Because my first introduction to you was hearing you on these hooks with these rappers and all these legendary songs that you performed on. What got you connected? Who were the first rappers you worked with, and how that whole situation come about?
Well, a lot of people don't know I got discovered on a basketball court. Playing basketball. That's what I like to do.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The name of this artist is L.D.
Okay, man, my brother. All right.
L.D. put me on the first album that I ever been on, and he used to always tell me, man, I'm gonna put you on the album, because I used to, build studios and stuff like that, do a lot of stuff for Screw, back in the day.
Yeah.
And he heard me sing. He heard me sing one time at the basketball court playing. I used, play ball and sing and have fun with it. So he got signed by Jam Down, and he said, well, man, I'm going to do my album. I really want you on the hook. I thought he was playing, so I never did take it serious until one day I was playing basketball, and this big limo pull up, and it was Jam Down. It was Patrick
Lewis,
Vince and all of them. They pull up. And he come to me and say, man, I want to talk to you. I said, what's up, man? What's going on? He said, man, I heard you can sing. Al got to be in the studio, so we got a song that we want you to sing on. Would you sing? I said, man, I don't think so. He said, well, what if I give you $2,000? I said, well, where the studio at?
Yeah, no doubt.
So he took me to Jam Down, man, and the song they played for me was called Let Me Blow. It's like riding on Vols, pimping, that type of stuff.
Right.
So I knew it was hip hop. I knew Al was a rapper. So when I heard the track, it had a good melody to it. So I went in there and did my thing on it, and man gave me $2,000. And next thing I know, the song blowed up.
Man, look.
And I wasn't expecting it.
You weren't expecting that $2,000 either. Huh?
No, I wasn't expecting it.
I feel you, man. But that's the thing, man. You knew you had it in you, but sometimes we can have a gift that we don't really trip on, but other people see it in a light that you don't see it in. Right. So he must have been like, man, come on with it.
He used to always say, man, I'm gonna get you. You sound just like Ronnie Island. I'm gonna get you. I said, man, you cut the crap. He said, no, man, you sound like Ronnie Island. I'm gonna get you. So he did.
And I wanted to go in that too, definitely, because that's one of the things that stood out about you. Is like he said, man, he got Ronald Isley on the song. It's like, nah, that's Ronnie Spencer. Was Ronald Isley a big influence on you, or it just like we just happen to have that similar vocal tone, or a combination, or what was it about that? Because that is the person that people think of when they hear you for the first time.
Well, actually, I was a fan of the Isley Brothers because my brother listened to them. But I was a fan of Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Otis Reddish, and these type of artists because they had a smooth tone to their vocals. But the Isley sound just got, I guess it just got heavier and heavier and heavier. It wasn't like I was trying to do the Isley Brothers. Right. Because I know the industry had the Isley Brothers. Right. I was just trying to be me, and the more I get from it, the more I realize that, it's just my voice. That's just the way it is. Exactly. And when I did a song with Ronnie Isley, we realized that we sounded so much alike till I'm in there with him and Angela Winbush, and they kept erasing my vocal. Yeah. Then they erased Ronald's vocals. Yeah. So they like, man, what? She got mad. So she like, man, why is you erasing the vocals? So the engineers was confused. They're like, we don't know who's who. Man. So what she had to do was color code the mixing console. My vocals is in orange, his is in yellow. Right. And that's the only way they could identify. So what I had to do was step a pitch down on notes so they could identify us.
So they could distinguish.
Yeah, they can identify us so they can be able to mix the song.
You know what's funny, man? Because just last night, every now and then I go on my little YouTube binges. And just last night, I was jamming Angela Winbush last night, because my favorite song from her is that It's a Real Thing, but everybody know Angel and all the jam and all the songs that she's written for other people. So if y'all not up on Angela Winbush, especially you R&B singers, female R&B singers, she's one of the greatest female R&B singers and writers. She writes phenomenal. She wrote for Ronald Isley.
And produced.
Right, so she is like really underrated as far as a female in this industry having those kind of technical skills, man. So it's really just a gem to hear that you actually worked with both of them. So that's dope, man.
And she was so incredible, man. She was directing me in him.
Yeah, she was holding it down.
If she heard a wrong note, she like, nah, you gotta do that. Oh, that's wrong note. And it's like I have film on it, and she was a blessing, man. She was
Man,
unbelievable.
you got.
I would love to work with her again.
I know that's right, man. Like I said, I was binging on her last night. It's just by chance we talking about this, and I was watching clips of her at 62, 63 years old, still getting down, still looking good,
Both of them.
still putting it down on stage, killing it.
Yeah, she
so.
off the chain. She give a man. Her show is just
Phenomenal.
tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And that's an example. And I see you too, Cliche. We finna get to you in 2 seconds. Just hold on, sis. That's an example. Speak to that example of how, no matter how far you've been in the game, how old you are in the game, still holding that professionalism and still maintaining a top-notch show like that.
Yeah, it's man. To me, I tell every artist out there on that note, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I just try to keep my health, because that's, without your health, you're nothing.
You ain't got nothing.
You lose your health, you lose your vocal cords, you might as well give it up.
Done. That's right.
So, with that note being said, I'm like, hey man, to everybody out there in the world that's in the industry that's singing or rapping or playing an instrument or on stage dancing, you got to stay in shape and you got to keep your body right.
Absolutely.
Because you will not last on a big stage.
Absolutely. And you won't last decades.
Right.
And I've seen Ronnie Spencer just come on stage and he's just a laid back dude. He just step up there and like I say, he's real humble, and somebody always puts the mic in his face and, come on, Ronnie, do something. And he'd be like, yeah, all right. Then he'll just get up there and all he has to do is deliver a couple of lines of some of the classics, and the crowd just flips out because he's already established that legacy that he's still building on. But we're going to take this call. We got another legend on the line. I see her, my sister, SPC Cliche. What's up, sis? Appreciate your patience.
Man, it's all good. I'm just enjoying the show. I'm like in the mood right now.
Right. Man. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's right.
Well, with that being said, I want to give you a shout out because you deserve it, and a lot of people don't know. Cliche taught my daughter how to rap,
Come on now.
and she's phenomenal with it, and she
Right.
taught my daughter a lot of stuff in the industry. And I just want to tell you, I really, really, really appreciate that, because if you would have never stepped up to do that, I don't know what she would have been able to do. But by you doing that, taking up your time to do that, is much love from the R&R family. So,
Appreciate you, sis. You know what it is. You already know what it is, Clee. We appreciate you a lot. Already. And it's funny because I was definitely gonna go into that. As long as you've been in it, how many years have you been in the game, big bro?
since 96.
Since 1996, you talking 20 plus years in the game. That's I would guess to say industry wise, but as far as just being involved in music, that's something that's been going on all your life. So what is it like now to have your seed, your next generation coming up, as Cliche was saying, with your daughter coming in the game? Because of course I found out probably about I want to say about 5-6 years ago, that she was a little baby singing on the Big Mo song. I didn't know that.
She was 6 years old, and I had her at, No D called me and said, man, we got a song, him and D-Rec. I said, okay. He said, but it's not for you, it's for your daughter. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah. I said, well, what's the name of the song? He said, man, it's the Bar Baby. We just want her to sing, Little Bar Baby. I said, okay. So it was about 3 a.m. So they wanted me to come to the studio. So I came, and I brought my child, and they set her on this little basket.
And how old was she?
She was 6.
Yeah.
And they say, well, we want you to just say, it's the Bar Baby, it's the bar. She could keep a rhythm, but we all was stunned because I didn't know she was going to sing it like she sung it. She sung it like she knew what the song was about. She knew the rhythm, she knew the tempo, and she knew how to hold her notes, and she knew how to sit at the right place and the right time. It took her actually 5 minutes to do that hook on that song, and it blowed up overnight.
Just a natural. Well,
natural.
The apple don't fall far from the tree, and now she's doing her thing. Fast forward all these years later. Is it a situation with y'all? Do y'all have the kind of dynamic where when y'all work together, she listens to you and takes your advice, or is she kind of like, nah, Daddy, I got it. This the new generation.
No, I sit back and let her do her, and she is training me now.
Gotcha.
My daughter can hit 10-part harmonies.
Gotcha.
Where I probably can hit 5 or 6 or 7.
Right.
But she is phenomenal when it comes to wordplay, putting music together, and singing and arranging. So she have wrote for a lot of different artists as I'm speaking today. She wrote a lot of stuff for me now. So it's now I kind of look up to her because I'm kind of glad that she listened to me and she took all of my advice. She took advice, from my sister. My sister played a very, very big part in her life when it comes to music and modeling because she do both. So my child is very humble and she listens. She take criticism and to be a good artist, you have to be able to take criticism, and you have to be able to listen and set your pride to the side and see what's happening. If you don't, you're going to fall.
That's right. That arrogance kicks in. It reminds me of something that Minister Farrakhan said. He said, your critics are your best teachers.
Right.
And if you operating in this industry and you don't have thick skin, then it's going to chew you up and spit you out. Because the first time somebody say you trash or I ain't fitting that, then you're getting your feelings and you don't belong in this if you're not tough enough to handle that kind of criticism. We here with the legend, y'all, Ronnie Spencer, man, and we learning. We are receiving some gems and some great information about our brother that many of us may not have known. Again, if y'all want to call in and talk to the OG, it's 713-526-5738. Man, we are here, and check it out to everybody on Facebook Live, man. I just want to shout out to y'all. We see y'all just tuning in and checking this out, and we definitely appreciate y'all. Let me ask you this here, big brother. Now, as far as you said 1996, so of course the game was totally different back then, because we had the Southwest wholesales,
right,
and a lot of people were selling a lot of records. People were still selling cassettes back in those days and all that. So how have you been able to transition from that era into this digital era that we in right now? Has that been an easy transition, or is it something you still trying to figure out and get together like I am?
Well, it's the social media now is pretty much, to me, is the same as you buying a CD and they scanning it across the register. They just made it easier for you now that it's on the social media because you got millions and millions of download sites.
Right.
And you got Facebook, iTunes, Twitter. You got all of these special, companies that's on the social media that allow you to provide your music and where people can download it, and get your product. But back in the days, like you said, how you adapt to this is like pretty much those was real numbers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Those were people was going in their pockets. That was real scans.
No
so
doubt.
if you was back in the day when I was and you did
250,000. They say that's ghetto gold, but when you do 500, a million, 2 million, you're really moving some numbers, because that $15 a CD, some of them was 16, some of them was 21. But if you go platinum or triple platinum, that's a lot of bread. So today's date, they just broke it down where you can sell each recording that you do, each song individual, or you can buy the whole package. So that helped a lot of people. But back in the game, the way they used to scan is a lot more better. To me, I wish it was back that way, because a lot of the artists, to me, wouldn't get cheated on their sales. One day they're going to wake up, I guess, and put it back that way. But on the social media, the digital download, sometimes, if satellite messed up, you don't know what you got.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's to each his own, whichever, work for you now. They still have some albums in stores, mom and pop stores is pretty much out of there, but it's a couple of sound waves and Targets and Walmart.
They hanging on. They hanging on.
You got to make it clean. Those companies is not going to accept you, but
it's a situation where I guess as the game evolves, they're trying to really weed out physical copies. They're not really tripping on CDs and all that anymore. Not. And as an artist, you got to kind of evolve with that. There's still people that rock CDs. I know I do. I still jam them.
There's a lot of people rock CDs, and you'll be surprised that I keep up with that kind of stuff. They bringing back 1200 Technic tables.
No doubt.
All your analog equipment, they bring it back, because a lot of the youngsters realize the analog is where it was.
Come on, man.
The digital is okay, it's clean, but if you want that big major sound, you better have some analog gear somewhere in your studio.
Sometimes digital is a little too clean for me.
Exactly.
It's too crisp. That analog had a warm feel to it.
Big feel.
And it's just like, it's hard to describe. So when they get too technologically advanced with it, it takes away from the rawness, in my opinion.
Exactly. It takes away from, the mix.
So when did you get into studio engineering and opening up your own studio and all that? Because I just found that in recent years that you was doing the studio thing, and just us talking about the differences between the analog and the digital sound. How long you been rocking out with your own lab like that?
I've been rocking out with I've been having a studio since I've been in the music industry. I worked me 2-3 jobs and bought my equipment. But I run into a guy by the name of Blue Note, and to me, that was one of the best producers in Texas, as far as I'm concerned. This man taught a lot of people. Blue Note was for his time. He taught a lot of people the game, a lot of people how to engineer, produce, make tracks, beats, and a producer. What I mean by a producer, a lot of people get it mixed up. A beat maker is a beat maker.
Come on, man.
But a producer sit down and build that track around you.
Yeah.
A producer come in there and play the chords to what you're singing in. You're going to get on that keyboard and find out what note you in.
Yeah.
You're going to write the song to you. And that's what helped me, and that's what got me interested in building a studio, trying to play these instruments and to record, because the young man showed me so much. He said, what, Ronnie, you're singing on that beat, but let me make something to your vocal.
Right.
Let me sit down and write it. Let me put it together for you.
The process of building.
And that's what he did for me, and that's who really, really I get a props to when it comes into building the studios, putting the music together, customizing the track to your vocal.
Right.
And sitting down writing. He was never in a rush. He was like, we're going to take our time, because you can't make no hit in 2 seconds. Let's take our time and let's build this right. Let's custom this track to your voice. And like I said, I give him all the credit on that.
I want y'all to really think back to what he just got through saying when he was speaking about the difference between a producer and a beat maker. It's like comparing just because I can go in the kitchen and whip up something, that don't make me a chef. And it's the same thing. I can get some equipment, keyboard, drum machine, all that. It doesn't make me a producer. A producer is just that. He produces. He builds something out of nothing. And to learn that early on, if that's your aspiration, because it's the same thing, not just working equipment, it's the same thing if you're writing a song.
Right. You actually creating your sound.
You're creating that sound, and you creating off of a concept, that would eventually turn into something that you hope can stand the test of time, man. So y'all missing, do not sleep on these gems that the OG Ronnie Spencer is dropping. I want to talk about Rec Shop Records for a little while, man, because I know you was rocking heavy with them at one point. And I don't know if were you ever signed with them, or you just
Yeah, I
kind
was
of
signed with
okay. So, which leads to my point, and Murder and Keister, if y'all got anything y'all want to add, a lot of labels that have come through the city of Houston have had great rosters. You know, of course, I always think about Rap a Lot and all the great rosters that they've had. In my opinion, Rec Shop Records had at that time, man, had one of the dopest rosters of artists, man, that ever came through this region, man. You know, because y'all had ESG at one time, and I think was Pokey with y'all,
Yeah.
and just the list goes on. And y'all had the city on fire at one point, man. I remember just rocking out to the Dirty Third movie and all that.
Yeah.
So what was it like during that time when Rec Shop had everything popping and everywhere y'all went, just turning it out like that, man?
Well, that was a blessing. When I got with those guys all the producers over there was for their time. I mean, I'm talking about Chicken Hawk, Double D, Note D, Sinclair was dealing with us, Blue Note. I mean, we had so many different producers that would come, you know, Saleh, that would come in the game over there and just, you know, we just do music. And when I got there, I guess they called me the Iceman. I would flavor stuff for them. You know, not too much rap, but I would give them nice hooks and nice melodies because I knew hip-hop R&B was hot then. So if you had a good hook and a good melody and you had somebody to rap, it was gonna make your body move. Yeah. So as long as you got a rhythm and a melody, music will sell. And these guys was in the studio day and night. Sometimes we didn't get sleep. Sometimes I would see the engineers fall asleep on a mixing console. You know, Big Mo, Fat Pat, and you know, Hawk and ESG and Pokey and my daughter, me, you know, and all the producers over there could write, rap, and produce. Right. And that's what made it so interesting. Even the CEO, which by the name of D-Rec, he could write. He wrote me songs. He could produce. He could, you know, they did it all. Right. So it's kind of like, I was like, man, it's incredible to see a group of guys get together. I mean, even the security guards, people like King and Lord,
security guards,
everybody would come in the room, you know, and we would get people everywhere. People like Let Flip, and they would come in and, you know, battle each other. It's just, then Screw stepped in and helped us out with a lot of stuff, and it just went on and on and on. And Rick was the kind of CEO that was terminated. Once we finished this album, we got another album. Once we finished this album, we got another one. So everybody really got what they deserved, as far as I'm concerned, at Rec Shop. It was a learning experience to work with all those guys, and with D-Rec behind us, knowing the people that he knew from up north, you know, in New York and Cali, it was a blessing for us to have a person that would go out there and grab other people to bring back to Houston, to Rec Shop, to make this company a little more bigger than what we thought it was. So that was a learning experience for me.
Man, you know what? And I was just looking at Angelique. She said, don't forget about Big Mo. No question. And John Lewis says, your daughter is cool as hell. You know, everybody give you a shout out that's checking us out on Facebook Live. Listening to everything you just said right there, it made me think about something I want to ask you about. All those names that you mentioned in one room, in one studio, speak to the competitive environment that existed like that. Because you named some heavy hitters, man, and how that competitive environment made everybody else better. That's still sharpening and still. Was it that kind of atmosphere with all them killers in the room?
Yeah,
like that?
because see, Big Mo would come in there, and you know, he'll come in there, and he was one of the coolest cats. He would come in there, a lot of fun, and he would just hum something. Yeah. And then Big, you know, no deal, hear it, say, man, hold that thought, we're gonna get that.
Right.
You know, ESG was another one. D Gotti was another one. D Gotti could write an album in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, people like that, you know. So everybody was so talented that came on that label that was on that roster was off the chains. And I work with a lot of people from Mexico to New York to Cali. But these guys that I work with they made sure that whatever I said in a mic or whatever I come up with was right.
Right. Right.
And sometimes they keep, no, you're going to stay in there until you do it. You're going to stay in there until you do it. That's not the note we want.
Right.
We know you can do this note.
Right. Right.
And I had to accept that. But I learned because I wanted them to tell me if this is a bad note or this don't go with this track. I need to know that because I don't want to put my voice out there and it's not right.
That's what family is supposed to do, man. You don't want no yes men around you having you out here looking crazy. You done put something in your drawers around your ankles when it hit the world. So basically all of y'all guys were holding each other accountable to make sure that the finished product was gonna be dope.
Right, and that's what I liked about Rick. He like, you know, we on a Big More project, we on an ESG project, we on a Pimp Tight or D Gotti. We all focus on that one album.
Oh man, come on, man.
We didn't never stop and say, okay, you know.
Speak on that, man.
I'm just gonna do this. No, he made sure we was there on time, and he made sure that we all had our inputs. We need to be on the album, and we need to help him or her put that album together.
Right.
So and that's what really helped everybody. So, you know, all the producers would get together and everybody hear the tracks. We might hear about 50, 60 tracks. And what he would do, he would say, you know what, that track don't sound good for Tight Eyes. This one sound good for Tight Eyes. Get up on the Ronnie. Get up on the Mo. Get up on the Poker. No, get up on the ESG. The guy that want this one. You know,
right?
And that's what happened. And that's how Platinum Soul become Platinum Soul, and that's No D, Double D. You know, they put Platinum Soul and Chicken Hawk. They put Platinum Soul together, and what that did was gave us another way to put out more music because people was waiting on a Platinum Soul album. They was waiting on an ESG album. They was waiting on a Big Mo album. They was waiting on a D Gotti album, a Ronnie Spencer album. You know, a Pimp Tight album. They was even waiting on D-Rec to come out with something because he kind of sound like DMX when he raps. So, you know, we was like, man, you know, and it's just, we all taught each other. We just stuck together with it. We end up doing 10 or 20 albums, something like that.
Now, again, as you are talking, bro, I'm picking up little jewels that you're dropping. And one of the things that you just said that caught my attention is how even though y'all had this strong roster of competitive artists who are all individual artists, a lot of solo artists.
Right.
Everybody was still intertwined and working on each other's projects too.
Exactly.
And speak to the young generation about how important that is to not have that envious, jealous nature to say, well, man, I ain't gonna give up my ideas for his thing. You know, because they not understanding that when all of the parts are working in order, the whole works on a higher level.
That's right.
Like
it's
that.
just like chess. It's like, you know, the music industry is a gamble. We can't pick the hits. The fans pick the hits.
Come on, man.
Radio pick the hits.
Come on.
I can do 1 million songs, and the one I pick might fall.
Right.
Now, I can tell you this. Every song that I pick failed. I didn't like One Day. I didn't like All About My Dough.
Right.
You know, I didn't like Peeping Me. I did it because they liked it.
Yeah.
They ears, you know, it's more ears is better than two.
Right.
If you get 30 ears in there, you're going to come up with something.
Yeah, the majority is going to stand out. I mean, man, look, this brother is putting it down, man. I heard Gladys Knight one time talking about some of her greatest hits that she didn't like. And the label had to basically force her to let these be the singles. So sometimes the majority has to decide. If you go on YouTube right now and upload 10 of your songs on YouTube and you just let it go, what's going to end up happening is certain songs are going to start to accumulate more views than the others. And that's the people deciding. So the one you liked, in a month's time, it might not have but 2,000 views, but the one you really didn't think about, it's got 50,000 views.
Exactly.
Because the people that majority, it's like voting. That majority
That's
is going to
what it
be
is.
the deciding factor in what's a hit. And only an artist with that kind of insight can humble himself or herself to say, okay, I'm going to trust my people like that.
And that's the reason I do this. I start making songs for the world.
Right.
I stopped making songs for Ronnie. If you can sing or you can rap, do it for the world.
That's right.
Because the world is bigger than me.
Right.
So
Right.
you never know what's going to happen out of that. But I can tell you one thing. You'll move some numbers.
Right.
Because you're not just going to catch the black community or the Mexican community. You're going to catch the white, the Japs, the Indians, the Koreans. You're going to catch everybody.
No doubt. No doubt.
The Latinos. You're going to catch everybody. So when you're doing an album, do it for everybody. Don't just do it for one race. Come together on it. You know?
Absolutely. Music is universal.
Excuse me.
And when you think about hip hop, hip hop started in the black community. We built it up, but who's buying the most hip hop? The majority of the hip hop is purchased by white kids.
White kids,
the majority,
and Hispanic, and Latin.
right? And overseas,
Now
in
China,
parts of Europe,
they,
Asia.
I've got calls from them. Hey, won't you come to a concert out here? I say, the good stuff ain't cheap. So
Without a doubt. Now, let's not get it twisted. Now.
Yeah.
If you want it, you got to pay for it. Without a doubt. Because,
and Pimp C taught me that. He said, man,
Yeah.
the good stuff ain't cheap. So you know your price, you know what you're worth. And I tell a lot of people, with me on your song, I give it my best. I don't care if it's whoever.
Right.
Because it's my voice, and I want my voice to always be right.
still
on
representing you.
anybody's
Right.
music.
Right. Now, let me ask you: if you don't know the exact number, but if you had to guess, how many songs do you think you featured on?
Oh man, I don't even know, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of stuff up north in California and New York. I just did some stuff with the Outlaws, 2 Pop Outlaws, and it's off the chain.
Wow.
So probably Houston don't even know nothing about it.
Right.
But
Right.
it's like that kind of stuff that I do. I don't know. I'm gonna say 2,000, 3,000.
See, man, look, I'm gonna tell you something.
Because I record it every day, so it's.
Some people haven't even combed their hair 2,000 times in their lifetime, man. So you talking about 2,000 just features. That doesn't even include his own work. What about your solo work, your individual thing?
I have, man, probably about 5 or 6 albums in my studio that's ready to go.
Unreleased.
Unreleased that people haven't heard. And Ronnie Spencer sing gospel too. I don't just sing R&B or hip hop or rap. I do it all. I try to do anything that would satisfy my fans or to create new fans.
Right.
So if I have to do a country and western song, I'm going to do it.
That's right.
If I have to do some Zydeco, I'm going to do it. So, it's like whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever you're interested in. Yes, if you deal with Ronnie Spencer, I got you.
But that makes me think about the beginning of this conversation, and you talked about your origins as an artist, listening to old school R&B, listening to rock and roll, learning how to drum through listening to rock and roll. That creates a universal appeal inside you that you want to push out to the rest of the world. So it got to be a great feeling to know that you're not in a box where if a country and western artist wanted you to come feature right now, you wouldn't have to turn them down because that ain't my style.
I'm just going to sit down and say, when I was a little boy sitting on daddy's knee, drinking Coca-Cola and Pepsi, I'm going to give it to him.
No doubt.
I'm going to give it to him. I got to give it to him.
No doubt, man.
Whether they write it or whether I write it.
Yeah, no question. And that allows you to make more money. Because if you only able to do 1 or 2 things and only can do one style and work one way, then that puts you in a position where you miss out on a lot, because an artist may like your tone. Man, I love the way this dude's voice sound, but he can't do the style I need him to get in. He can't reach this place that I need him to reach.
Yeah, you have to be able to be versatile, you know. And when I get ready to do a song, say for instance, if I do an Al Green song, well, I sit down and listen to Al Green all day and all week,
right,
until I catch his vocal
yeah.
tone, and his, you know, the way he take his breath techniques. It's
Right.
all a technique, you know. I can't just go in there and say, excuse me, I just can't go in there and say love and happiness.
Right.
You know, you got to say it like Al. Love and happiness.
Come on, man. Come on,
Something
man.
wanna make you do wrong. You know, you gotta go in there. It's like when I did ball caps and tennis shoes.
Man.
I had to take one of Al Green's notes. Yes, I had to do that.
Right.
To let people know that, you know, I am versatile. I can go out of the Ronnie Isley mode and get into some more modes.
Yeah.
Even with different lady singers like Angela Winbush.
Yeah.
I heard you said earlier that was one of your favorite ladies.
Yeah, it's a real thing, man.
Me too.
Man.
My sister used to make me always mimic her. So I like,
Right.
man, this is, you know, and that's what made me start listening to other artists to try to imitate them, you know, to get their sound.
I think all the greats do that. They take pieces of the other greats,
And that's what you do.
They incorporate it into that thing, and then it processes and comes out as you. It comes out in
That's
your
what you do.
own way. And you always been a master at that. Shout out to Rapper K. Shout out to Noel Sanchez, man. Joe Campo. Everybody. Joe Campo saying, let's collaborate, Mr. Spencer. You know, hey, look, if you're
Whenever
serious,
you're ready.
you know, if you're serious, let's get it on. You know, we know what time it is, man. And all of the wisdom that you're dropping, man, I want to ask you, because you were saying you did around 2,000 features. Most of those songs are songs that we probably don't know and we'll never hear. But we know those big records. What's your favorite record out of all of the popular ones that you've done? I could say mine is, of course, you know, One Day You Here, because, I mean, when that music come on, that boom, you know, that deep down, that bass hit you like that, then you hear you come in ad-libbing with the la-da-da-da. It's like it's over after that. You know, hold on, your boy. Hold on now. Don't sleep on your boy, man.
Vocals like that.
Don't sleep on your boy, man.
Vocals like that, man.
Look,
Hold up.
Murder ain't saying that all night. As soon as I get some little love, he come in. but that's my favorite one, man. I would like to ask you, which one is your favorite one out of all the ones you've done?
It's kind of hard to say, but One Day was a national anthem.
Yeah,
So
still is.
I'm going to go with One Day because I just did One Day 2000 remix with a little auto-tune in it for the youngsters, and it's off the change. But man, my R&B album, I got so many nice songs on the R&B album. It's off the change. And I also got a hip-hop album. So this next project that I'm dropping, K-Rino, is a double album, hip-hop side and an R&B side. Because when I dropped the R&B album, the hip-hop people got mad. When I dropped the hip-hop album, the R&B people got mad.
Wow,
So,
what they mad for?
well, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of, you know, texts, and you out of line for that. You didn't drop no hip hop. You out of line. You didn't drop no love music. So I'm
man,
like, you know,
let a man,
I guess,
let a versatile man be great, man. No key. Don't try to see. What do you think about that? With like people try to keep an artist in a particular box.
well, I'ma always say this: do what you feel and do what you comfortable of doing.
Right.
Because it's music.
Right.
It's a lot of people can tell you, hey, I want you to sing like this, and they can't sing.
Right.
So they don't really know the notes or the melody.
Yeah.
They just hearing something and thinking maybe you can do that. They try to get you out your square.
Right.
I'm telling all artists, stay what you believe in, and whatever made you, stay that way.
Come on, man.
You know, I'm not gonna step out of my box because somebody want me to sound like Errol Neville.
Right.
You know, even Errol Neville's a platinum, artist, and I love his music. But I'm not gonna try to do something that my vocal cord can't do won't allow me to do.
Come on,
I'm
man.
gonna stay in my lane.
Right. No
And
question.
if you want to deal with that, that's cool. But if you want R. Kelly, then I advise you to go talk to Kelly.
Yeah, no doubt. But that's a lesson for all genres of music, because even in rap, you got guys who can be influenced by a certain style, but that don't mean you can do it.
Exactly.
You can't do what Twista doing. That's not your thing. That's not your thing.
That's just like me saying I'm finna rap like K-Rino.
Oh, man.
Ain't no way I can rap like K-Rino.
And
Cause
see,
he have a special technique, and it's a platinum legend technique.
And God deposits individual gifts in all of us. So we have to manifest the gift the way He gave it to us. I can't do what this guy does or what this sister does. We have to make sure that we find out who we are and find our own identity, man. The legend is in the building, man. Ronnie Spencer is here. We still got a little time if y'all want to get in. 713-526-5738 if y'all want to get in. Shout out to Chanel Taylor. Shout out to Jeff Hunter. All these people are watching us right now, man, and checking us out on live, and the people are listening on 90.1 FM on KPFT. I'm honored to have this man sitting by. We was talking a minute ago in the car outside and just talking about how tragic it was that me and you have never worked together.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
put the blame on myself for that.
I put it on myself.
Thing,
Me and this young man always meet, and that's the first thing come out of our mouth, man, when we're going to do this.
Every time.
But I'm
every
telling
time.
y'all, me and K-Rino is finna do an album.
Come on now. Come on. We put it on blast on the radio.
I'm telling you, we finna do an album together, and I asked him tonight, do you want to do an album with me together? And he said yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to make it happen.
No question. We definitely, without a doubt, man. Go ahead, Murder.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell a lot of people, if you can sing, you can rap. Look at people like Miss Elliott, Queen Latifah. Those ladies, most rappers that can rap good and hold melodies, they can sing. My daughter's one of them.
Yeah.
So it's just harmonizing your words, and it's just like talking.
Right.
I got some rap songs on my new coming up project, and a lot of people didn't believe it. They're like, man, I didn't know you can rap. I said, yeah, I just never did it.
Right.
Because I love singing. But I know now to keep up with what's going on in this music industry, you got to be versatile.
Yeah, and you made me think about my brother, like Cliche. She the same way.
She the same way.
Klondike Cat.
He the same way.
Just can do either. And
MC,
have
he did it.
Oh, come on, man.
Billy Cook. Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad, Murder. I'm glad you said that. I want to ask the OG a question real quick too, because you, Billy Cook, and Big T, man, I would have loved to see y'all just put a project together like that, man. All the great hook masters in out of the city. I don't know how that would have worked, but when you got greatness like that, I feel like it could have worked if y'all wanted.
It would have worked. I mean, it would have worked. We just never got a chance to get together with each other.
Yeah.
Billy was real busy. Big T was real busy. I was real busy, and we just never put it together. And it's a lot of people ask me that. Well, why you, Billy Cook, Big T, and a couple of more singers out there don't get together and just do a song? I say, well, first of all, we got to get together as mans and make it happen and
bang it out. Yeah.
Back then Billy was hot. He was all overseas. He was doing his thing, and it's kind of hard when you traveling overseas. And I'm in this state, he in London, and
timing don't line up.
And Big T is all over the studio, so it was our timing was never right. And we never did get a chance to sit down as men at the table and say, let's put this project together. It never happened. So, and I think the world would love to see that happen now that, rest in peace, Big T, that he's gone. It's like, man, that's one of them situations where you say, well, I should have, but I didn't.
Right.
And he was a good singer. I have to give it to him, and God bless him. I know he's in heaven, and to his family, y'all got my condolences.
Without a doubt.
Big T.
No question, man. Let me ask you also, not Houston, because you pretty much work with anybody, but who was the one artist that's still around, man, of all the greats that if they called you tomorrow, if they gave you a ticket tomorrow and say, this is a free pass to work with any of the greats you want to, who would that ticket be used on?
In Houston or worldwide?
No, the world.
Man, I would love to do another song with Ronnie Isley because the humbleness that he have, and the man treated me like I was his son.
Wow.
And our vibe was so good, and just the learning experience that he taught me in the game when I was there in St. Louis, Missouri with him was just wonderful. I mean, I didn't have to ask for nothing. He treated me like a king, him and Angela Winbush. And to do another song, I would love to do another song with him.
Man, look, and see, that's got to be, because as rappers, we have certain idols that we live. That's like, I know Murder One's favorite rapper is Chuck D. My favorite rapper is KRS-One. Who your favorite rapper, Keisto?
KRS-One.
Tupac is gone now, but just to be able to sit in the lab and actually get an opportunity to work with your favorite artist or one of your favorite, that got to be something that you just
man,
check off that list, man.
Man, it was lovely. And thinking of Tupac, me, Screw, was finna do a song with Tupac, and Screw died the next day.
Wow. Come on, man. Yeah.
And that kind of crushed me, but it was like, man, but he had set it up. Screw had paid for everything, and they just was waiting on us to fly to New York.
Right.
And he passed.
Right, man. Well, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to give thanks for the intentions, even if it don't come to pass, man. It just, because that would have been epic right there. That would have been epic right there. But the good thing is, you still here with us, brother, and a lot of us who loved and knew Screw, we keep that legacy going on and on, man. We got about this happens every week, man. Every time it's starting to get popping, it's almost time to go. The hour goes by so fast. I want to shout out to everybody who was watching on Facebook Live, everybody that's been listening live, everybody that called in, man, to just hear this man give us all this knowledge and all this information and a wealth more to come. Give them your social media info and anything you got coming out, and just let everybody know where they can reach you at, big brother.
Well, this is my social media, Facebook. All Instagram, iTunes, whatever is tied into my Facebook. Hit me on Facebook, you can get in touch with me. And I like to say this to everybody in the world. Grab somebody, hug them, tell them you love them, because look, one day you're here, the next day you're gone, so you never know.
Yes, sir.
And if there's somebody out there in music that you're trying to get a hope to, or you trying to do music with, make it happen, man. Don't play with your life. Don't play with the music industry. Don't play with yourself. Put God first and make it happen. And this is for everybody.
Absolutely.
Fool, one day you here,
boom, boom.
And then you're gone.
Come on, man.
That's for everybody.
Come on, man.
Peace out. I love you.
The great Ronnie Spencer is in the building,
you.
man. Right here on K-Rino Radio. And look, man, thank you again for coming, big brother. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. You're welcome anytime. I see you, Black. I see you, Larry Pinson. We thankful for you, brother, and we're looking forward to more and more music coming from you, and to keep dropping them classics on us, man. The
That's
legend,
what we're gonna do.
Ronnie Spencer has blessed us with his presence on K-Rino Radio. One love, man. Murder One, Keisto and No Regret Media. Shout out to the sister of Ronnie Spencer. She over there in the cut doing her thing, working on the Facebook Live.
R&R.
We appreciate that. R&R in the building, man. And thank y'all. And y'all tune in next week, 9 o'clock p.m. right here every Wednesday night. One love to y'all. God bless. Peace.
God bless you.